This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, coming to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observation, number 58. Okay, and this week I was able to watch one movie per day like I usually do. Nothing came up. I watched a good amount of different types of movies. I watched a lot of drama. So the first one I watched was Driveway, 83 minutes. Didn't feel like that. Two Ways Home, it is listed at 93 minutes. Felt like it was longer than it was supposed to be. They both are dramas. They're both the most interesting movies possible. But the good thing about Driveways was it was good enough of a movie that you kept your attention while watching it, and this one not really. So Brandon Donahue did a good job in this movie because the movie is about this woman, a strange older sister who passes away. They go to the house, and the goal is to have a garage sale, make money there, sell the house, make money there. All of that stuff. And what happens is the young boy is in a shell. He's not very sociable, but the old man next door, played by Brian Donahue, a Vietnam veteran, gets him to open up, and he becomes more sociable, even with the kids down the street. And the mother realizes it's a good thing, and they try to stay there as long as possible, so the kid can have a good relationship with, because this guy's helping him become more social. And overall, yeah, it wasn't bad. I can understand why there's like a bunch of film festival awards on the DVD box. There's 7. So overall, the movie Driveways is a movie you can watch and actually be interested in. Two Ways Home was a movie you put on in the background when you're working on stuff, because I don't know what their point was with like making bipolar disease, commonplace and stuff. This woman has it. She commits a crime. She goes to prison. She's coming back home. Her child is being raised by the ex-husband boyfriend. They didn't really tell which was which, the parents. And then that this woman is old enough that her parents are not just also in the picture, but her grandfather's in the picture too. And they got to add his issues and his farm and all this other stuff. And then she's trying to connect with the daughter, the ex, the family, all this stuff, and trying to manage her bipolar disease. And it's just like, sorry to Tana Frederick, Tom Bauer, all the people in this movie, but Two Ways Home was not a movie you watch and give your full attention to. That's Driveways. This is a background movie. Then I watched the movie Possessor, and it's about this serial, hitman where they like kill people and they make it look like accidents or suicide murder because they have these chips. I don't know. They didn't explain how the chips get into people's brains and they take over the subconscious and they kill that person and then kill themselves. So it's like a suicide murder. And it's like, okay, cool. That's nice and dandy, but they never explain how they got the chip into the person. The shady lawyer from Blind Spot and Clarice and other things, he's one of the guy's friends. And what happens is the woman, Andrea Riseborough, who's playing this acclaimed hitman, everybody knows her, is she can't kill the guy. The guy can't kill himself. She can't pull the trigger. So the whole movie is dealing with the complications of the host not letting the subconscious being controlled and killing him. And they have to spend a whole movie of her trying to figure out how she can go ahead and deal with that stuff. And then they show her life, his life, that the whole goal is to kill the father-in-law and him and not the wife and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, okay, it's supposed to be sci-fi, it's supposed to be horror, it's supposed to be action, it's supposed to be drama. It's all over the place. And the guy that she can't kill, who's the body she's controlling, is the Christopher Abbott guy, who I also saw in a very weird movie that also was just not that great. So I don't really get this movie, and it's not a good sign when Facebook doesn't have a listing for it as movies you can watch under the watch section when you want to watch and say what you're watching. And not really the movie that you want to watch. It's more of a background thing because it mostly was boring. Then you see a movie with Bruce Willis and you're like, cool. But the problem is he's in movies where it's cheesy action, or in this one, he's barely in the movie. Supposedly he's a veteran. Jesse Metcalf's a veteran. Got a group of people. And Bruce Willis hires him and uses the go-between of a guy who used to serve with Jesse Metcalf. So Jesse Metcalf goes, fine, I'll get my crew and we'll go help you. And also revenge, because the guy that they're trying to stop is somebody from Jesse Metcalf's past. You're like, okay, cool. But then when you look at the cast, you got a woman who's in WWE and a person who does daytime soap opera. You're like, okay, the cast's not really that great. Bruce Willis is barely in the movie, and I'm not like somebody who follows Jesse Metcalf to go, is he a good actor or not? The good thing is it's 91 minutes with credit, and you're like, okay, not that long. There's some action scenes, but then you got to throw in the fact that Bruce Willis's daughter is kidnapped by this bad guy who happens to have a connection to Jesse Metcalf. And that Bruce Willis is the only one that is one of the people that can help and blah, 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 blah. And the daughter made this technology, and that's why this bad guy has it. They got to stop the bad guy. And it's just, okay. I'm sorry, Bruce Willis, but outside of the M. Night Shyamalan franchise that you're a part of in recent 5-6 years, your movies aren't that good. And this one I just feel like a waste of your time. Maybe you're just collecting the paycheck. I don't really know. But don't watch Hard Kill because it's not that good. If you do, at least you're not watching it that long. Then I watched a movie called Echo Boomers and the movie Immortal. And I was like, both of them looked interesting. The thing about Echo Boomers is it's 93 minutes. You're like, okay, not that long. It's also trying to make a stance against societies. There's some social aspects to it, and like studying the human psyche, whatever, where these college-age students having a hard time succeeding in their field and not finding jobs after they got the good grades, went to the college, graduated, did everything they're supposed to, maybe even interned, did this side project, a fellowship, whatever it is. So basically, Patrick Schwarzenegger's character is struggling to find a job in the art world. His cousin goes, come to Chicago. I thought it was cooler in Chicago. And the reason it's Echo Boomers is because it's echoing the previous generations. That's cool. And he's like, I got a job for you. And of course, what the job is that his cousin, who has his own issue, works for a crew led by Alex Pettyfer, and whatever he does, you gotta follow him. He's in charge. Everybody has their jobs. There's a dude who's like the driver. Oliver Cooper's got his skill. The cousin's got his skill, and he's the leader. And then his girlfriend, who Haley Law, I just saw in the Spontaneous Combustion, rom-com high school movie, who I really like from Josie and the Pussycats character in Riverdale. They're all part of this crew, and they wear these masks. And the whole point is making a political stance against all the previous generations who have all the wealth and they don't, and that's why they're robbing from them and vandalizing, all this other stuff. And the way that they know who to rob and when to rob and what to take is because it's cool, because Michael Shannon comes in and he's got the list of who to rob, when they're leaving, what's valuable, and he's the guy. But he's the guy they got to report to. And the movie is like them are doing it, but then they're like, you know what? We don't want Michael Shannon to be in charge anymore. We want to find our own people to steal from, do our own things, get more of the cut of the money. So the movie is like us seeing the world that Patrick Schwarzenegger gets himself into, but then how it all just goes crashing down. And any movies that are like bank heist or thrillers or suspense type of thing, and Michael Shannon's involved, you know what? It's a pretty good movie. It's not the greatest movie I watched, but Echo Boomers was worthwhile to watch. Mortal, though, I'm a huge fan of Nat Wolff, and I thought, okay, cool, Nat Wolff and Priyanka Bose are in this movie, and they're going to be searching for something that's like science fiction. But basically, it's like X-Man, where this person has powers, and he's misunderstood, and the cops and the scientists are trying to get after him. But really what it is he supposedly experiments on, they didn't really explain that, and he's causing damage, and there's like lightning bolts and people burning up, and all this odd special effects. But what they don't warn you, nor does the library, put this in the foreign film section, because 99% of the people in the movie are speaking in the Norwegian language in Norway, and there's subtitles that come on the screen. You're not ready for that. And he's the only one speaking English for real, for the most part. And his whole goal is to get back to where it started, and everybody's trying to get after him and trying to help him or put him away. And you're like, man, this hour 45-minute movie is dragging on. It's mostly boring talk, drama, barely any sci-fi special effects. And I'm a huge Nat Wolff fan from the Naked Brothers bands and every movie he's been in. But this one, he couldn't even save it and get me to go, I like this because he's in there. Mortal is definitely Mortal because it's not super powerful and it's not that great. Then I watched Critical Thinking with John Leguizamo. And John Leguizamo, amazing actor. Good voice actor for my sake. He's in very good movies. And in this movie, some of the teens in the movie I've seen in other roles before. Some of the other people, the principal, Michael K. Williams in the movie, the principal I've seen before, the bad guy I've seen before. And really what it is based on a true story in the late 90s, Miami, high school, where just because of their race, their income level, people just think, yeah, they're white trash, or like they're poor, they're not going to make themselves of anything, who really cares? But John Leguizamo teaches this chess class, like an elective thing, where he really cares about the well-being of the student and wants them to succeed. So he does that through chess, because he's like using your mind, your intellect, and they get good at it, and they start competing against all these top-notch schools, private schools, and people looking down upon them. But the whole movie is based on true stories, so it's like them winning and doing well and saying, who cares what your social economic background is, what your race is, what your religion is. You can succeed in many ways, and it was based on a true story. And those actors you've seen before, like Michael K. Williams, and John Leguizamo, doing a really good job in this movie, and it's based off a true story. And yes, it's now 57 minutes, but it's a very good movie, and it gets your attention span. So overall this week, if you were to say a good week of movies, I enjoyed Echo Boomers, even if they're trying to make a political thing, and Critical Thinking was great. Driveway was surprisingly good for a drama. Two Ways Home is a movie put on the background. Possessor was all over the place bad. Heart Kill wasn't that great. Immortal, despite Nat Wolff trying to save it, not that great. So for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, for movie reviews and observations number 58, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.